The idea of de-influencing has become an increasingly popular trend among young people on the internet. And I think that's for many reasons, but mostly because we all are starting to understand the detrimental effects of constant consumption, both on our inner environment and our external environment. When you really think about what drives us to consume, especially when we aren't in control of the way that we're consuming, a lot of it has to do with the desire for a visual identity. We're obsessed with being part of an in-group. We're obsessed with being perceived in a certain way, having a lot of control over the way that we are perceived. And because our identity is so fluid, we're constantly being influenced by the things that are just actually happening around us, the things that we see, things that are being said to us, the experiences that we're having. Our identity is always changing. And so the things that we want to surround ourselves with, the people that we want to surround ourselves with, change. We change our room decor, we change our accessories, we change our hobbies, we change our friends. And a lot of times that means buying a lot of things that we don't necessarily need for the sake of visually identifying with that new identity in order to feel like we truly belong as a part of that group. And I think that makes sense. Like, wanting to fit in is not a new thing. I think it's very normal. It's human behavior. It's a survival thing, like wanting to fit in with a group. The person that is isolated is not safe. When you are in a group, you are safest. But it's also important to acknowledge that you can't buy something new every time the wind changes directions. It's just not sustainable. So I have been thinking a lot about how we can create identity through ways other than consumption. And I'm asking this as someone who loves to buy things just as much as the next guy. I am a very easily visually influenced person. I'm just a very visual person in general, from my photography, from the way that I learn. I'm a visual learner. I understand things through seeing. So when I see a girl with a certain pair of jeans, I don't know why I always go to jeans. I don't know why I do that, but when I see a girl online with a certain pair of jeans and like a certain cut, that to me communicates that she is cool. Or I see someone with their nails done and I really like the pattern or whatever it is, it makes me think, oh, I should really go get my nails done more often. Like, that looks really good. Or I should go out and buy things so I can like do that style of nail, whatever. Doesn't really matter, but the point is, when other people speak to me visually, it's very easy for me to get caught up in the urge to buy something to also communicate back. Even if I know that owning this thing, buying this thing is not going to make the difference between being a part of the group and not being a part of the group. For me, buying things that I don't need contradicts my financial awareness. It contradicts with my values, not just in a we buy too much from Amazon, we need to save the planet, like obviously that too, but also in a you can't buy your way into an identity. I don't think you can authentically embody something if you are not also realigning your values and your actions with that identity as well. So if that's something that I believe to be true, it doesn't make sense for me to also partake in that constant cycle of buying things to fit in. And I'm a hypocrite in many ways. Like, I'm a hypocrite, but like that one has been one that's very hard for me to ignore. And so by thinking this way and being honest with myself, it's encouraging me to explore new ways to create identity, communicate identity without acquiring new things. So some identifiers that I have been able to come up with and have been like implementing into my life to explore new ways of personal expression, the words that I speak, the way that I communicate with others, the questions that I ask people, what I do in my free time, what I choose to share with other people, my habits, my rituals, the people that I surround myself with, the things that I photograph and the things that I document. Like, these are all ways to express who you are and what your values are without actually like purchasing anything. I want the words that I speak to signal that I am a compassionate person, that I am a thoughtful person, that I am an intelligent person. I want my free time to be spent doing things that I really love, not doing it because other people are telling me to do them or doing it because I feel like I should be doing it, but because I truly, genuinely love doing it. Like, for instance, spending time with animals. What does me spending time with animals in my free time communicate about me? It communicates that I value connection. It communicates that I value being outdoors. I want the questions that I ask people to communicate my genuine interest in them, my genuine curiosity and what they have to say, that I am a good listener, that I'm not just like hearing them speak, but I'm actually thinking about what they're saying to me. I want the things that I share with people to demonstrate what's been on my mind for the last few weeks, months, years, whatever. Like, these are not things that I can buy. These are things that I have to have a genuine interest in order to authentically embody them. And these aren't things that are easy to fake. Like, you know how hard it is to fake interest in something or what someone's saying. Like, you can do it, yeah, but it's exhausting. How exhausting is it to do things in your free time that you don't actually want to do? How exhausting is it to show compassion to other people that you don't actually want to show compassion to? Like, you can fake anything, but you are ultimately what you do when no one is watching. When you build an identity around your ideas, your values, what you want your inner world to look like, you naturally fall into it because you can't fake that. You can't force that authenticity. As a very visual person who's very easily influenced by the things that I like, the things that I see, I have had to practice embodiment over emulation, because that's who we are, right? Like, we are the character we embody, not the character we are emulating. It's like wearing a costume versus wearing a uniform. When you put on a costume, you are trying to be someone else. You're not showing up as you are showing up as that thing that you are trying to be. You want to be something other than what you are. Whereas when you put on a uniform, you wear the uniform because it reflects who you are, what you do. It's like the identity influences how you show up versus showing up as an identity. Does that make sense? Like, it's kind of like, if you are someone who finds that they struggle to communicate their identity with other people, there are things that you can do to reorient yourself so that you can show up as authentically as you can be, if that's something that's even important to you. And I think a big part of that is studying philosophy, at least for me, because I think it's made a huge difference in how I move through the world, how I think about the world, how I think about my own life. Philosophy encourages me to think. It encourages me to be critical about what my values are and how I want to show up in the world, if I am actually showing up in alignment with the things that I believe to be true. And I don't think that we as a group think enough. I think we outsource thinking a lot because it's easier and it's more comfortable. We want to be told the exact answers to our exact questions because we just want to turn our brains off. We just want to be told what shoe to buy. We just want to be told what hobby to start. We want the answer that's going to put us in a certain category of person, and we're afraid to experiment. We don't want to experiment. And I think experimentation guided by philosophy is one of the best ways to explore what showing up authentically even means to you, because it means something different to everyone. And so that's where I think philosophy can come in and be that guide. It's a guide to life. It's a guide to identity. It's a guide to what is true, and whether that is just your truth or the objective truth. If you want to really live your identity, be your identity, you have to find truth. I do believe that a lot of the work involved in creating identity should be done by yourself. And when I say yourself, I don't mean like literally like in a room by yourself doing your thing. I mean like do the work in a space where there's no performance, there's no audience, there's no expectation of showing up as anything other than who you are in that very moment. You're not doing it for the social credit. You're not doing it for the ego. You're not doing it because that's what all of the coolest girlies are doing. You're doing it because you truly believe in it. You believe this process to be true. It's a value that you hold. Like I said earlier, like I don't believe that you can buy an identity without doing the actual psychological, mental, emotional work to be more in alignment with that identity. Me finding other ways to create identity through means other than consumption is being true to my values. And we don't all have the same values. We don't all have the same truths. So your method might look a lot different than my method. It might be the complete opposite. It doesn't mean it's like right or wrong. It's just you live your truth, you live your values, and I'll live mine. And I say this because it's really easy to get swept up in the aesthetic of anti-consumption, the aesthetic of being different. The act of not consuming or being more intentional about what you're consuming less has become an identity in and of itself online because it's a profitable topic to talk about. And when money and success is involved, you're always going to have that group of people who's trying to emulate what works in order to achieve the same sort of results. And so I think it's just important to ask yourself, are you doing this for you? Are you doing this for the sake of self-exploration and being more comfortable with how you show up in the world? Or are you doing it because this sort of work can be perceived in a way that makes you feel really validated or makes you feel good? Because like at the end of the day, exploring your identity is inner work. No one cares whether the way that you dress, your hobbies, the people you're with, the books that you read, no one cares if that's authentic because we don't have any way of proving it one way or another. You're doing this for you. You're doing this so that you can be more comfortable. So don't let the ego get caught up in the act of exploration. And I feel the easiest way to not get caught up in it all is to be doing it on your own, experimenting when no one's watching, and it's not taking too much advice from other people too. Like, I am not prescribing any sort of method or system of belief that's going to lead you to your answer, lead you to your truth. I'm not even saying that you ought to be creating identity without consumption. I'm just saying that it has helped me feel more comfortable in the way that I show up and feel more confident about how I'm being perceived and whether or not I am living in alignment with who I think of myself as. I've had to ask myself, do you truly want to consume less, or do you want to appear as someone who consumes less? Especially with the cool girls are gonna be offline, the cool girls don't scroll, the cool girls read, the cool girls touch grass, da 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 da. Like, especially with that, like, there is social credit to being mindful, which is like so crazy, but it's true. If I had more disposable income, would my consumption go up? If I had more disposable income, would my consumption go up? Or is this just a value I hold because this is my situation right now? And that's where I had to use the philosophy to deconstruct whether or not I am in uniform or in costume. Which am I putting on through the decision to not scroll as much, to not buy as much, to not feel that I have to own something to be something? So let me know what you think. Let me know if you've had similar ideas about creating identity and whether you've experimented with things like this. I think it's going to be something that becomes more popular because just the way that the world is looking right now, like, it's just people are rejecting the large clothing hauls. Like, we are becoming more conscious of what we consume and the amount that we consume and who is telling us to consume. And I think a lot of people have a lot of different motivations for why they are being more mindful. So I'm interested to hear them, and I'm curious what that process looks like for other people. So yeah, that's all I have to say, and I will see you in the next video.